What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going for Broken Spaces 11, and I haven't even done a hit yet. Just remember the amount of HP that these heroes have compared to the amount of HP these heroes have is literally like 100 times difference. You are probably going to struggle with this. Even us are probably going to go through a lot of these challenge badges to get this done. The biggest issue here, Vulcan does a lot of damage, but Phorcys, oh my goodness, this man is going to destroy your team. Why is that? Well, you can't let him get an active off. Imminent Doom is going to take any attribute buffs, and you guys know we have a lot of buffs on our teams nowadays, and going to turn them into damage, completely nuking your team, killing through unbending will, all that fun stuff. So in reality, I can only think of one way to really get around this hero, and that is going to be in the form of carry. Between her active skill and her basic skill, seems like the only answer that we have. Now, sadly, we've gotten rid of our own carry. We're going to have to actually rebuild her on our account just to get this done. So we're going to convert and swap our own Phorcys, which we never use, into a carry just so that she can actually do some stuff. So we're gonna do that right there. I think we might actually have a copy. Oh yeah, we do have a C- copy. So we're gonna take this carry right here. I'm gonna give her an awakening from the C tier, just to give her some bonus stats and stuff. I think this is going to be what we have to do to make this work. So go into formation. We're going to keep the same thing. We're definitely not using Heart Watcher. We're going to try just plugging in a carry and see how she performs. Praying, absolutely praying that we can keep her alive. Now, even if she doesn't survive, what we're going to do is I'm going to run the Elusive Mirror on her instead of the Demon Bell. It does give her energy for round 1 active, which is good and cool and all. And we're going to build her as tanky as possible. Hopefully she can live. Maybe having to power up is going to be something we have to consider in the future, but this is what we're going to do, and we're going to see if this tool here is a nice answer. Again, even if she's dead, she's going to be able to feed energy. She can revive, which hopefully will keep our team alive. But yeah, maybe I should show you what it looks like before I do that, though. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like outside of that. We're just going to chuck a normal team that we'd be normally using here to see what it would look like, because it's probably gonna be devastatingly bad. Like, devastatingly bad. You'll see the second he gets an active off, we're essentially just dead. So this is very unoptimal. Our first hit here, I'm gonna show you guys, because this man is going to wreck our bases. Is he actually gonna? He might actually get. Yeah, he's gonna get an active in round 1. Oh wait, no. Actually, our Doom Terminator Vulcan basic does drain energy, which is something really interesting. You don't see all that often with his sublimation on his basic attack. But this round, he is definitely getting an active. Both of them are definitely getting actives off. So watch right here. We get like our counterattacks instantly popping a bunch of those buffs off. Not as bad as I was actually expecting, though. I think if you have a much lower power team, it's going to be a much bigger issue. But actually, considering we have crowns, that's probably the reason why. So we're running literally like our Void campaign style setup here, where we're just super tanky. You can see very little damage is actually done here. So let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. It's less than 1%. Trust me, that was not even close to what it was. We're going to go to our actual setup here now. And again, I think still running carry is probably going to be the best solution for us right now. But this is going to take a lot of tickets, like a lot of them, to get this taken care of. Again, draining the energy is probably going to be one of the best things here. And the fact that just her being alive every round or dead, she still provides that Elusive Mirror energy buff to the rest of her team, which is really good. He did get an active off, and you guys can see now that we're running Demon Bells and not Crowns, it is a huge difference what our team can actually do, because the second they acquire buffs too, because of the curse he puts on them, it instantly turns that into damage. So this is tricky because carry is not 100% reliable on her being able to, number one, energy drain from heroes. Again, look at that. Big active dealing tons of damage right there. And now we're just stuck with our one hero who you can see at the end of every round, like as he gets buffs, they just turn into damage, and then Vulcan nukes us into oblivion. So going for like a Demon Bell energy feed setup absolutely not a viable strategy anymore. And even with adding a carry into this, just doesn't really add up. You need to have some more survivability built into your team. There's absolutely no way to use Drake and Heart Watcher at this point unless you just have the most ridiculous account you'd ever imagine. Now, this is where I think having a bunch of elusive mirrors would be better, because you're still getting like, you're getting some all damage dealt buffs and things like that. In reality, I honestly think we just have to run this more like a traditional team where we can't afford to run stuff like this. We can run like fans maybe, to get a little more damage potential on heroes that we want the damage on. But again, if you're going to run a tanky setup, I think running you is a mistake. And instead, you can probably run a very offensive Vulcan maybe? Because again, you're not getting actives off every single round, so it's not the end of the world. Probably just stick with what we got right there. That should be fine for the time being. And yeah, just kind of building everybody else tanky at this point so that make sure everybody survives, because if you're not living the total amount of rounds, what's the difference if you're feeding energy to your main damage dealer? This is going to be the better outcome right here, and let's see how that does for damage. So we have both Vulcan and our Aspen, both of them running Antlers Cane, so they're still going to have a ton of damage. The problem is, can they survive? Instantly, our team is obliterated. Even running crowns, you can see what this looks like. Absolutely insane. He gets tons of ammo. You're doing like no damage. Honestly, turns out the best way to run this is not even with our presets. It's just running our basic team that we used to run all the time and just seeing what it does, because it's the tankiest thing. So could you try using carries and stuff like that? Yeah, probably. But at the end of the day, if they get some big hits off in round one, your team could just completely be nuked. And you can see right there, Lord of Aspen is just dead. He's gone. He's not even around. It's not something possible. I think the high roll here is literally having Doom Terminator Vulcan drain the energy round one from that Phorcys to actually have something happen. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Lord of Aspen's at the top here, and honestly, these two have like the strongest households right now, and that's what's keeping them alive, it seems like. But even then, you can see these battles do not go the distance anymore. They are over very quickly. All these attempts, we haven't even budged it one single point, which is just absolutely insane. So here's what we're gonna do. You guys are actually going to be getting our fans, because I feel like the fans might actually work a little better. We're also going to have to give you a little bit more of a correct setup here, because of course we are not in the pre-setup lineup. Although we could just do it there. That would make more sense. It definitely would make more sense. Changing you guys out to the fans. Let's give you all crowns. You get a fan. Again, hopefully it's tanky enough. I really hope it's tanky enough for them to survive. And then you get to go with the fan, and then just seeing how this actually plays out, because again, we need these heroes to survive a decent amount of time. Honestly, even running, I just kind of thought of that in our formation here. One thing we probably need to do too is find what is the excess here. Like in this situation there, we probably need to go back to running damage reduction on our two big damage dealers. Crazy to think, but we have to do it. That's what we have to do. Let's see how the damage turns out on 11. I'm sure if I used enough tickets and everything, I definitely had the wrong team in right there. We're gonna die instantly. That was actually a pretty decent damage right there. Let's go to preset lineups. Surprisingly, that did pretty well. I'm hoping this can work, but again, the big issue here is not even really the Vulcan. Granted, the Vulcan on the enemy side does a lot of damage, but the Phorcys is the big issue here. You can see we high rolled the energy drain enough on the Vulcan in round one that they didn't get the active off. Instantly, you can see half the HP bars just disappearing. But at least luckily, honestly, the Vulcan is really good here because he's giving us all those shields. We just need to find ways to heal up in the meantime. And you can see here, end of round damage, the front two heroes just got chunked by the amount of HP they have. And if we don't have healing to back that up, we're going to run into some really big problems here. So that's the one thing I keep saying is I really just want to rebuild Fairy Queen Vest on our team, just because you can see if we're not recouping all that, this is mark damage, so it bypasses shields and it just goes straight for the HP pool. If we have no way to heal, because again, Hyperspace Hunter Alamok can heal, but it's only when their shield is disappeared. You run into a lot of big issues in this mode. Luckily, Lord of Fear Aspen really strong, but again, if you had a really strong Fairy Queen Vest, I think you're gonna have a much easier time with this than having a Lord of Fear Aspen. So leading us, getting a decent amount of damage now though, but as you guys can see, this HP bar is not moving. I'm literally gonna show you what 200 hits does right here with that preset team right there to show you guys exactly how much percentage I can take off. It's probably going to take a minute for it to calculate it all. 200 attempts literally took 8% off these bosses, which is just absolutely insane. So be prepared. Stage 11 is pretty near impossible right now, in my opinion. So we'll have to see how it comes out. 10 easily doable by decent accounts. 11 no way. We're gonna figure out teams that allow us to actually do what we want to here, otherwise we're dead in the water. You guys next time.